but I think it's a really hard pill to swallow. Like it's my fault. Like if I wanted to be better, then I needed to do things differently. And I think it's really easy to kind of tear yourself apart, but people don't want to do it. I'm like, I'm not there because you're right. I did watch, 3 hours of Netflix last night and I did do all these poor things, but at the end of the day, I could have been better off, but I just didn't make the best decisions to get there. And then for quantitative finance, I think it really ties in. So my industry is huge. I have so many people contacting me saying, hey, Dimitri, I want to make $1 million coming out of school. And I have to email them and go, well, that's not reality. And they go, no, I know a guy, and it's a so-and-so's brother, and he makes $1 million working at, I don't know, they'll throw some big name like Citadel. And I'm like, you can go online and look at glassdoor.com and see what people are making. It's not even close to that. You have to multiply like 10 or 15 to get to that.
Yeah, and you have to have experience. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not just entitled to a certain specific sum of money just because you've gone to school. I mean, everyone's done it. And that's also the problem, I think, is now college has become such a thing, or university has become such a thing where it's like, you have to go to college where, I know Elon Musk says this all the time. He's like, skills are more valuable than education. So if you have a specific skill and it's desirable and people want it, that's important.
Yeah.
And I think that gets left a lot by the wayside nowadays, where it's like, hey, if I go to college, I can get this degree and I can get this job at Amazon or Google or whatever, and I'll make my $100,000 and I'll be good. But you're gonna be happy doing something you don't necessarily want to do just because it's gonna make you some money.
Yeah, and I think that's a key point on multiple points here. One being, I think a college degree a lot of times is a waste of time and money for a lot of people.
Agree, and it sucks that we had to go to college to realize it, but
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think the other piece of it though too is that, like, kind of what you pointed out, right? Just because you get a job that you wanted and you're making money doesn't mean you're going to be happy. And it's taken me a long time to realize, like, if you're content with what you have, you will be happy no matter where you are. So it doesn't matter if you're making $1 million coming out of school or you're making, I don't know, just enough to survive. You need the basic needs covered, obviously, but you have enough to pay all your bills. You can be happy on your own if you make that decision. I think, again, it comes back to that self-individualistic aspect of, like, you need to take responsibility for you. And if you do, you can be happy just being who you are. But I see a lot of people in quantitative finance where it's like you spend $70,000 to $120,000, $130,000, $140,000 for a master's degree, and you already had to pay for the undergrad. And then at this point, you've wasted all this time and money. You get to the job, you're not making as much as you thought, or you're not progressing as fast as you wanted to. And then you're like, I hate this job, I'm done with it. And then they quit and leave the industry. And it's like, you wasted all that time, all that money, all that frustration. And it's like, because people weren't being real with you up front, and also perhaps because you set your expectations too high and you didn't actually enjoy the work that you're going to be doing.
Right, and I don't even know who I learned this from or how I learned this, because that was kind of the one thing that I learned. It sounds kind of depressing, but when you apply it to real life, it's true that you can't really expect anything from anyone except for yourself. It starts with you, and I think that just kind of goes to self-awareness. Is really the kind of the key word, I guess, for this podcast.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like, if you expect the government to give you X, or you expect your employer to do X, you expect so many holiday, or vacation days. If it falls short of what you're expecting, you're never going to be happy.